I do it for the thrills. Alright. What's good, entrepreneurs? This is your host, the Beardless Lad, and welcome to the 5th episode of the Beardless Lad audio experience. We do not have a guest on this episode, but it doesn't matter. I know what all of you want is value, and so be it. On this episode, we will be discussing an incredible strategy from Gary Vaynerchuck and John Taffer. If you don't know who these two guys are, these are two marketing geniuses. Look them up on Google and follow their content. You will not regret it, trust me. And if you do follow them, Gary especially, then you know what I'm talking about. So the content of this episode, this strategy was taken from the Ask Gary V show with Gary and John. You can search up the podcast too for getting more context. Now, let's start breaking down the Red Napkin Strategy. This strategy was initially intended for restaurants, but the concept of the strategy would work for other businesses as well. So, if you are a restaurant owner, you are in for a treat. If you are not a restaurant owner, but you know someone who owns a restaurant, then please share this episode with them, because it's good to share good value with the people you care about. Because I don't own a restaurant yet, although soon I will, I couldn't implement these strategies myself. But it all makes sense when you break down and understand all the elements of the strategy and know why it will work. As I'm starting a restaurant marketing agency, Tastebud Solutions, I will ask all my clients to learn and implement both these strategies in their restaurants. Because I really do believe in these strategies. Let's get started then. Hey, listen, are you an entrepreneur or a content creator? If yes, and you don't have a podcast, you are missing out on a lot of opportunities. With Anchor, it becomes really easy to start on your own. If you haven't heard of Anchor, it's the easiest way to start a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There's a creation tool that allows you to edit and record right from your phone. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so you don't have to. And you can reach your audience on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can also make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's literally everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Now, what is the Red Napkin Strategy? The Red Napkin Strategy is a way to distinguish a first-time customer with, for example, a red napkin, other than the white or usual ones in a restaurant. Why? Because this will act twofold. First of all, the guest in the restaurant will watch that they're being treated differently, especially than the other guests. And when a guest has a red napkin, the staff in the restaurant, as in the servers, will know that this is a first-time guest and they will have to make sure they have a phenomenal experience. You might be wondering that this sounds so simple, but how is this gonna work for real? And why a red napkin? The thing is, red, purple, white doesn't matter. The napkin doesn't matter either. What you need to make sure is the guest having a great experience in the customer touchpoint. A customer touchpoint means the stage is when a customer interacts directly with your brand. Think about it. After someone orders food online, the first customer touchpoint will be the packaging. You need to make sure your brand stands out on the packaging. You need to make sure the packaging is creative enough to make your first-time customer curious about what's inside, and so that they build a positive image of your brand in their head. Creating and optimizing your own style of red napkin will pay you back in higher ROIs than you can imagine. Now, you can assist your red napkin strategy with a few tactics to work better for the good of your brand and revenue. You need to make sure all of your first-time guests has a reason to pay you a visit again. doesn't matter if it is in person or an online order. How can you do that? Well, that can be achieved by communicating with them. You can go up to your first-time guests and ask about the food and your experience. Then, regardless of what their answer is, thank them for trying out your food and give them a reason to come back. This could be free burgers and fries one-time offer exclusive to them on their next visit. The statistical likelihood of them taking up on the offer is about 40%. Once you are done with that, there is only one more step left for you to optimizing this strategy. Keep listening to the Beardless Lad audio experience for the very last step. Coming right back after a short break. One thing all restaurants need to know is that they need to market their brand 3 times to acquire a customer and not only one, which means they will have to ensure 3 visits for customer acquisition. Going over the Red Napkin Strategy, we have ensured up to 2nd visit of a customer. Let's come up with another reason for the guests to pay you a visit for the 3rd time. The statistical likelihood of a guest paying you a 3rd visit if they had a flawless 2nd time experience is already 42%, but a reason really helps increase the chance. This time, hypothetically, it could be free dessert or drinks or any other thing of value that wouldn't cost them anything but will sure bring a lot of value to the guests. Once you ensure the 3rd visit, the likelihood of them coming back is 70%. Therefore, if you can bring a guest in your restaurant 3 times, you own them. I hope all you restaurateurs will apply this strategy and this will help out your restaurants a lot. Thanks for listening to this episode of the Beardless Lad audio experience. Really hope you all got value out of it and come back next Tuesday for more value, more strategies, and more inspirations which will help you grow your own empire. This is your host, the Beardless Lad, signing off.